Jennifer, James, John, George, Sierra, Jonas, David. Why are there so many J's? Bob, Patricia, Mary. This could go on for a while. Let's talk about humans. Humans have been written as the most dynamic, most adaptive, most compassionate, most kind of everything. I guess you could say they're kind of extra. I don't know. But for the most part, people see them as basic, and that's fine. We very much have Mary Sued humans into most fantasy settings as young creatures that basically don't know anything about the old ways, and yet somehow have unlimited potential, which I really like. They are highly variable and have no one set of allegiances or creed. And for those who have read through Tasha's Cauldron, or at least seasoned viewers of the Why You Should Play series, or you have a basic understanding of how social dynamics work, then you know that that should be the case for every race and not just for humans. Ooh, calm. This might be more of a hot take than actually have a how-to video, but when it comes down to it, I've been told over and over again that humans are boring. From my perspective, playing a race or class one specific way is not only boring, but kind of insulting. I make the joke all the time that goblins like pickles, and I've played many goblins that aggressively like pickles. Sweet pickles, kosher pickles, pickles in barrels, bread and butter pickles, relish, doesn't matter. If you got pickles, the goblin's coming for you. That doesn't mean all goblins like pickles. Just the goblins I play like pickles, because I think it's hilarious. Now, mind you, I have played goblins that do not like pickles. Not that they hate them, they just don't actively pursue them in the way that my pickle-loving goblins will pursue pickles. I think I need to refocus. If you can't make a character interesting, unrelated to their race, then that's on you, not the player's handbook. Maybe tieflings are too edgy for you, or you can't pull off a well-crafted dwarven accent. Maybe you have a fear of heights and feathers. That might be something unrelated to D&D, but we'll just let the Aarakocra allegory stand. Or maybe you just really want to be super basic. Because let's be honest with ourselves. Basic things are good for a reason. Don't look at me like that. Pumpkin spice is delicious. It's like Christmas in a cup. I see you over there. Yeah, you. The judgy one. I see you. And fuck you. Humans aren't even that basic from a mechanical standpoint. They are indeed the base for world building and aesthetics in D&D, but they have two very unique traits that separate them from all of the other races and allow them to be some of the most customizable characters in the game. So yeah, they're usually medium-sized, they have normal movement speed, and they aren't covered in fire, earth, water, or air. Don't forget about heart! You gotta live, laugh, love, am I right? Humans are, for the most part, the most familiar thing for us to understand. And that's why it makes sense from a game development standpoint to be talking about humans, because it's going to be played by mostly humans. I've seen a few really smart dogs try to play D&D, but they always seem to struggle when it comes to getting through doors in a dungeon. Also, the dice can be a choking hazard. That was supposed to be a joke, but I think this has turned into a PSA now. Keep track of your dice, people. Keep them on the table. Let's talk about stats. Humans get a +1 to everything, and that's it. Everything else comes stock, comes standard. Base model, French vanilla, Ugg boots, and milk toast. But that in itself is wholly unique. No other race gets +1 to every stat. You do a point buy, guess what? Your shitty +9 is now totally average. Congratulations. You're really super buff? Well, now you're super buff and flexible. It not only makes you more rounded in general, every odd number you roll gives you another ability score modifier with the +1. Whereas most other races specialize, while it's not a great buff for focusing, can be game-changing for a lot of low-level campaigns. That by itself should really make you pause and think, why the fuck do humans get 6 bonus points? That sounds totally unreasonable. But in a world that is built and designed for humans, this would make a lot of sense. Doors, tools, books, all the stories that we're playing through or reading are directed to and for human. And that's why they're written. So characters growing up in those areas are suited for them. I honestly take base human most of the time when I play humans. And I play them a lot. I know, Rook, how could you play humans? All you do is yell about being large-sized monsters. I mean, are you really going to make me do it? Are you really going to make me go the cliche trope of humans are the real monsters? Because they are. I mean, think about it. Everything that is super monstrous about different races are all just basic facets of human stupidity and general shittiness. Well, except for the weird Cthulhu tentacle shit, but I don't know, maybe the bug claws? We do make our own acid for the sole purposes of dissolving the tissue of things that we murder and consume, so we got that going for us. Then again, if I'm going to make the argument that humans have unlimited potential, I kind of have to leave that open to go from super, super evil to super, good? Yeah, we can go with that. If you do go the variant human, which you do get to choose 2 different stats to get a +1, that might seem a little suboptimal. I honestly think that that's the kind of character building that we should keep in mind. And it's not just Tasha's that does this. There are tons of variants out there for most of the other races. Pathfinder, 2nd edition Pathfinder, older versions of D&D, all have some kind of augmenting stat choices, usually in the form of like a +2 to one stat, a +1 to another. So once again, we're going from like, oh, humans are super basic to like, oh, maybe we should do that for everybody. Yeah, you should, because it makes the game better. Variant humans also have the option of gaining a bonus feat, as well as choosing their own proficiencies. And this in itself is inherently unique to humans. So much so that a lot of people have argued that maybe every other class or every other race should also get those options. Because that's how D&D used to work. That's how Pathfinder works. That's how most video games work. And you know why? Hold on. Nope. Bring it in. All right, you ready? People like making their characters. That's the whole reason. Boom! Mic drop. I get it. If you want to make a tabaxi that can run at the speed of sound, or Luxodon that can carry artillery around on his back, then playing a human probably isn't for you. They're not specialized to make one very specific thing amazing, but they are so many options that there's no reason you couldn't make a very unique character. It's humans. Everybody's a human. Play a human. Or don't. I don't care. I'm not your boss. Unless I am, in which case, get back to work. All right, character customization. Part of the fun of creating characters is getting to come up with your backstories and your foundation. And for the most part, when you choose something like an elf or a dwarf, their stats are based around those heritages already being chosen for you. I think it's easier for us as humans to come up with something familiar and make an argument for why they should affect our stats that way. But with goblins and minotaurs, they're a bit more alien. And when it comes down to creating reliable backstories, not everyone can do that. Not that you can't do the same thing for those races, but with D&D specifically, it's designed to expedite those things, and, well, here we are. Humans are basic, and that's totally okay. They're designed to be tweaked, edited, optimized, customized, and wholly built from the simplest terms to let your creativity run wild. You want to put horns on your human? Cool, tell me why that should exist. What? Your human is supposed to be large? Great, give me a reason. This is why there are so many half-human races. It allows designers, and in this case that includes players, to take something familiar and build upon it. We all know the drawbacks to humans. We can't see well in the dark, we don't live forever, we have to sleep regularly, you can only lift 400 or 500 pounds above your head. Wait, what? How buff are the people at Wizards of the Coast? There is a pushback for playing monsters because they are so far from the norm. I see a lot of people want to play monsters like humans, and while that can be a lot of fun, I think it's generally difficult to play something true to its nature, and in most cases, probably not very fun. I would like to play a gelatinous cube, please. Cool, go for it. It's your turn. What would you like to do? I'm gonna stand there and wait for someone to walk into me. You're just gonna stand there. Stand there and wait. Wait for someone to just come by. No one in particular. Should I roll for stealth? Humans are basic. They are the baseline for D&D. That does not make them bad. That does not make them boring by any means. And if you're worried that, well, too many people are playing humans, I want to play something unique, you playing an edgy tiefling rogue whose father is the Lord of Hell isn't going to help you in that regard. For the most part, playing a monster race, playing a human, they're not that different. The key is creating a character that is going to be so unique to you. Not something that is wholly unique to the universe, but something that you'd like to do and you haven't done. For me specifically, playing humans is about their faults. It's about knowing that I know my own limitations as a player, and I can bring in my own experiences into the game and see how they would react in a world of fantasy. So for people that want to get as far away from themselves as possible, playing those monstrous, strange, otherworldly races and creatures is great, and I love them for it, and I think you should. Sometimes playing something close to yourself, something close to your heart, is just as important. And to me, I will always play human characters whenever I want to make a character that I think should embody part of who I am. That being said, I'll play an elf from time to time. Why not? Sometimes you just gotta have the pointy ears. Playing a human also allows you to deal with things like light sources, general charisma checks that aren't based around how far you can throw a goblin. Dealing with people that maybe you know from your childhood, people you grew up around. Oh, you're from the next town over, we know your family. Having a human person in your party would make a lot of sense if you need a guide, if you need a ranger, if you need a rogue that would just fit in without being seen. There are so many small tricks that humans have because they are so basic, because they are so prevalent in the world. Versus if you're playing a campaign that's all around kobolds, the humans are going to be the ones that stand out. There are situations where humans can be the monstrous outsider. And for those situations, that could be a lot of fun to fulfill those evil monster campaigns. But at the end of the day, just because you feel like you're a basic bitch, it's not a bad thing. There's a lot of good things about humans and a lot of fun ways to customize and create a unique character. So don't get lost in the fact that lots of people play human. They do it for a reason. Thanks again for watching. We've been doing a lot of streaming on Twitch, so make sure to check out twitch.tv/Rookzer0. If you have a cool character idea, or maybe you have a cool drawing of your character you'd like to share, you can always share them on the Discord, as well as in the comments down below. As always, remember to like, subscribe, share this video with your friends. It helps the channel grow quite a bit. Do all those basic human YouTube things. And as always, remember to keep your dice on the table. Okay. Here's the new idea for my character. He is a human fighter. He's from the Sword Coast. His name is Normal Man, and he sells insurance. Did you just say you're making a human fighter named Normal Man? No. Norman Man. M-A-W-N. Norman Man. Some of the other options I had were Hugh Bonner, or Dixie. I like Dixie. Dixie Normus. That's a good one.